Hello and good day, everyone. Today we are going to look at a simple procedure or steps in how to block YouTube from your home network or your office network. So we are using the HG8245H Huawei router. As you can see on the screen, what we want to do is we want to ensure that all nodes that are connected to the network are not able to access YouTube on the network. So when you log into your router, you just have to go to security. At security, you look for IP filter configuration. You click on IP filter configuration, then you enable the IP filter. After enabling it, by default your filter mode is on blacklist. And if we want to block these types of websites, then it means that we have to choose the blacklist mode. If we want to allow, we have to choose the whitelist. And if we want to do both, we use the hybrid. So for the sake of this exercise, we are going to blacklist. So we select blacklist. Now, we are now going to create the type of protocol that we want to use. Now, you click on new. At new, you name the rule. You give it a name. So ours is going to be YouTube, so we give it YouTube. Now the protocol type is either we choose TCP and UDP, or we choose either a single of them, but we have to choose all. Then the direction, we leave it at bidirectional. The LAN side of the IP, at this point you are supposed to enter IP addresses for these specific nodes or networks, users that are connected to your networks. But because we want to ensure that almost everybody on the network is affected, we will leave those places to be blank. So we will leave here to blank. Then we come to the one side of the IP. The one side of the IP address is where we will enter the IP address of this specific website. An instance is YouTube. Now, how do we get the IP address for YouTube? If you want to get the IP address of YouTube, there are two ways to go about it. It's either you ping the YouTube URL at your command prompt. So this way, you just ping youtube.com. And you should get the IP address of YouTube. So you can see it there, 216.58.223.206. And when you enter 216, this same IP address in your browser, it should link you to Facebook. Or better still, we can go to google.com and ask for IP address of YouTube, and it should be able to give us something. You can see these are the list of IP address for YouTube. These are the common ones that they use. Now, you can put them in a range. So if you know how subnetting is done and how IP addressing is done, you should be able to determine the range of the IP address, and then you put the exact range into the router and it will block YouTube. Now that we know the IP address for YouTube, we will enter the IP address range here. So our IP address for YouTube range is going to be 216.58.192.1. So we are saying that the IP address should start from 192.1 to 216.58.233.223, sorry, .255, and then you apply. Now before that, let's test if YouTube is actually working or not. So we go into our browser and go to youtube.com. I think I've applied the changes already. Let me check it and apply and run YouTube. You see, so our YouTube is running. YouTube is working alright. I'm a Liverpool fan, so you shouldn't mind. YouTube is running. So now let's go back and activate it. If we apply it and we go back to our YouTube channel, let's see if it will run. You can see it is lagging here. It's not moving any longer. It's not moving any longer. Our YouTube ceased to load. It will never ever load. So basically, this is a simple step to block YouTube channels on your network. Thank you.